Welcome to February, our second workshop in a series of 12 in the 12-month Fitness Education Challenge. For all of you that got through the journey of 10,000 steps, thank you so much for that. The content will stay till December 31st, 2025. So you'll have all year to do that. And we're going to have more activities in there. It's all about getting that activity, learning communities, groups, and getting all of us Canadian health and fitness professionals in the same place, learning some stuff and learning about each other. So I'm hoping that you're enjoying this, and we're going to get more community involvement in the content. For instance, what should we do in March? Good question. For February here, number 2, let's get into it. Canada, Shuswap Lake, it is snowing, it is heavy. I'm glad I'm inside in my studio doing the recording. So let me share my screen. Let me get it all going. And we'll share that. Perfect. I'm going to put that into what I call presenter mode. I'm doing this presentation on Canva. As you can see, it's going to flip through there for us. I'll move me off to the side. I can probably put me up where my logo is. That probably works really well there for you. Okay, so welcome to workshop number 2. This one is Unlocking the Resilient Heart, and I want to give it up to resistance training. We have so much science on it now. We just know that it's the answer. So let's talk about how we can value the heart by the resistance training. Here's how I like to teach things. There's probably stuff you already know and you're like, I already know that, I already know that. I like to look at it as applied. How can I take this and go A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, can I apply that? So we're going to look at programs, 4 of them, and we're going to look at how we can include all of that into our programs of A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. What are the 3 things I'm going to focus on in program design to unlock the resilient heart from you? Okay, so let's talk about what we would do or we need to know first moving forward. What are we going to get out of this workshop? Let's go. Da-da. It's just a little slow. Learning objectives. We have to learn the science of a resilient heart. So what is a resilient heart? What does that even mean? Then we want to look at research-backed benefits of the resilient training. So what are the benefits of resistance training that makes the heart resilient? And then let's look at those program designs. We're going to look at one for group, one for weight training, one for personal training, one for older adult, and then we're going to add that ability in there, and we're going to look at how we can get different abilities into those programs as well. So let's get into it. The science of the resilient heart. Let's take a look at what resilient is here. So for the word resilient, that should come out of there. We should be okay there. Click, click. Da-da. Nice. We have 3 categories. We have self-care, building relationships, and then your outlook. Self-care, building relationships, and your outlook. Those are all going to give you resilient heart. Okay, so how do those feed into the resilient heart? Let's take a look at it. The word resilient means the ability to endure strain without being permanently injured. Mental strain, physical strain, emotional strain. The ability to recover, shape quickly when deforming from force or pressure. Let's think about that force or pressure when it's removed. So you're under a lot of stress and then all of a sudden the force and pressure is removed. Do you bounce back from that? Bounce back, bounce back. Resilient heart. A heart system that is capable of withstanding shock without permanent deformation or rupture. So how much pressure can the heart take without having problems and having a little go on? So a resilient heart is the ability to adapt to stress, threats, and adversity, and then bounce back from that. Okay, I'm just gonna move that out of the way, out of the way. So then we go back to those 3 things that bring on the science of that. We're going to look at 3 categories that create resilience for us. So for you to take back to your clients or your members, you want to talk about self-care, building relationships, and their outlook on life. So each one of those categories, A, B, C, we're going to pull that out a little bit. So when we talk about self-care, that is things we can do for ourselves in exercise, nutrition, sleep, and then also that stress management. So now we're looking at 4 very strong components, and we have lots of pathways to figure out how to work with those, right? Then we're going to look at building relationships. When you have connection, it builds community, and that provides support. ABC, 1, 2, 3, connection, community, support. Positive outlook. When we set goals and we reward ourselves for these goals, you feel really grateful for that. So then we look at gratitude and we look at that positive mindset, right? So those are our three categories. We want to go into self-care and we want to pull the one out that is relevant to resistance training. So let's go in and pull out the weight training, right? Da, da, da. You do not want to shift. Why do you not want to shift? There we go. So why is resistance training so important? We'll click that back. Why is the resistance training so important for the heart? We've always known that doing cardiovascular exercises, getting that cardio, work the heart, work the heart, work the heart. But what about resistance? Let's get into it. This workshop is going to focus on the male population through the decadials, and we're going to do some active research on that called Name the Vein. So look for that in the content coming up for the month of February. So for my little pictures and stuff right here, this is just stuff that I think is creative and entertains. We've got resistance going on here. And why do we do it? It improves heart health, enhances circulation, lowers your blood pressure, reduces your cardiovascular disease, increases muscle mass and strength, improves your joint health there. It sarcopenia, prevents sarcopenia, enhances bone density, boosts neurogenics, nervous generation, and boosts metabolism. And it does so much more. It does so much more. We want to look at how it enhances exercise. Right? So we pull that circulation out. Self-care, exercise benefits, circulation being one of them, pull that out. We make the heart beat stronger and faster. My little picture. Do you like my diagram? It's probably not brand friendly, but it's a cool diagram. Beat the heart stronger and faster. How? Widen the blood vessels. We don't want small blood vessels. And we want them to be pliable. Think of that. So movement of materials that are liquid in nutrients and oxygen and plasma, everything that goes through there, we want to put that right on top of the muscles, and we do that with capillaries. Widening your blood vessels to allow more blood to flow to your muscles, which need more oxygen and nutrients during exercise, a process of capillarization. Let's look at capillarization. The increase of the number of capillaries in and across a specific area, improving oxygen and nutrient delivery to those muscles. So that becomes super important. The more capillaries we have across the muscles, the more nutrients and oxygen we're going to get to them. That's why we need muscles. That's where the oxygen exchange takes place. Did you know resistance exercise can promote capillarization in ways that maybe are beyond what your general knowledge is? So before we look at that and what that general knowledge is, and we add those facts in, I want to take a look. This is one of the activities we're going to do in our community during February to bring in some engagement. We're going to work on discussions and activities regarding body fat, vascularization, capillarization in the male population. We're going to talk about body fat, risk, restriction, and health. So we'll look at that. We'll look at it through many different areas, just from the general population, from youth athletics, from male in the mid-recreational, older adults, how fit can they grow it back? So we're going to have an active activity. It's going to be really cool, and I'm going to call it Name the Vein. So what you're looking at right now is an athlete that comes out of youth sport who's done about 80 games of basketball in the season. They're low on fat, muscles starting to break down, right? Because they're only trying to eat so many calories. They're going into playoffs. February goes into playoffs. March goes into championships. And then they take 6 weeks off to build the muscle back up, build the fat back up, to rest, recover, and do self-care, right? Get back into that. So what does that look at? Probably by then, and you see in veins like that, you're looking at 8 to 10, maybe 12. They're in a risk factor, so they need to recover. right? So let's take a look at name the vein. We'll look at the different categories. We'll talk about the risks that are associated, what happens when we restrict it and we get to a body fat, and then what happens when we're in a healthy body fat. And we'll use science and stuff with that, and we'll lead it into the male population. Sound good for our project? Okay, so then let's look at these three unique things. Why? Because I want to put it with you right to ABC 1, 2, 3. How can I take this and apply it? I want you to apply volume, contraction, and stretch. Volume, contraction, and stretch. ABC 1, 2, 3. Capillarization is more influenced by volume. Why? Because it feeds into low twitch. We do low to moderate lifting, and it heavily vascularizes, and then it leads to the increased capillary density. Did you know that? So volume over intensity. Low to go, stay, contract in. When we contract and we focus on contractions, we're going to focus on eccentric contractions. Going against gravity slower brings in a mechanical stress that feeds into the metabolic demand for the capillary growth. Eccentric contractions, let's mess around with that. Then we're going to look at stretch under tension exercises. You might look at things in the weight room that we've known as Romanian deadlift. That's straighter leg, flat back, stretch those hamstrings and pull, low moderate weight. How about a barbell bench press under stretch, bringing those elbows a little bit lower on that, right? So ABC 1, 2, 3, I want to apply these in every single aspect of our program. Volume, eccentric, and stretch under tension exercise. You can do stretch under tension under many things. And why is that one so important? Because it stimulates the growth, it stimulates the ability to generate, okay? You think, you want to put it under that stress so it goes, what should I do? Sketchy, figure it out, get out of it, right? Fight or flight, full range of motion. We're going to look at that through different tools. What do you think? So current research, let's go into it. With our current research, we're going to look at 4 programs. The research that we're going to use is going to be based on the male population. I'll have the links at the end. I'm going to feed it into the 4 programs here. It's for all population, but I just wanted to put some emphasis on men's health a bit, so I thought I would use the science based on that. So let's look at how we can effectively take what we're going to learn in our research science papers, how we can promote capillarization. And let's look at group design first. So everything in group fitness that we are going to hit is going to be revolving around resistance training, adding a tool to your program, adding dumbbells, a kettlebell, resistance tubes, stability balls where we can put pressure against them, steps where we can do lunges and stuff off. Everybody has a different level of fitness. Everybody's going to grow muscle at a different rate, and low and moderate volume is going to be different for everybody. I chose to use the Tabata programming. So these are all different ones we can use. A circuit training, resistance intervals. Why? Because it keeps the volume and time under tension. It keeps the volume. We can do eccentric, and we can do loads that are slow and quick if we want to. Full function, resistance hit, Tabata. We're going to look at that one. Power and strength fusion, and then resistance bands. So let's look at all of that. I have many different forms, many different programs. You can ask me. I have books of them. I'm from years and years of just trying to figure them out. So Tabata for this one is a group fitness program, and they're basically like circuits, right? You do these exercises. We're going to do them for 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, for which you can change those metrics. We're going to do either 4 exercise series or 2 exercise series. After we do 4 minutes, we're going to take a 1-minute break, which gives us that 5 minutes. And then we're going to go into our next series going on. So this is how I do it. I try to keep it really, really simple for you. Okay. Really simple. Tool, timer, Tabata. Tool, timer, Tabata. Pick it. Pick what you want to do. Pick your tool. Pick 1 or 2. No more than that. It gets complicated. Pick your timer. Set it up, or you can do it through your music. If you're into group fitness, you know we can find those tracks that are great for interval. So the very first one I did, and we always warm up and cool down, we did squats, hamstring curls, lat pull down, and then skaters. So I did 2 lower body, I did an upper body, and then I did into the skater, held that 4 minutes on, 20 seconds, 10 seconds off. The next one, I used 2 exercises. I did a backwards lunge. And why do we go backwards? One, we have to alternate it, so it took us time to do that. And then I did a star tuck jump. Again, moderate, doesn't have to be high. We kept going, kept going. Everybody's intensity is different. Because we say high intensity, when we add some of the weights to this, we can coach people to stay go to low and just use the timing. We can also increase the timing and use 40 on, 20 off, bring the hit to moderate, add a little bit more load, and hold the line. And those become large volume programs. Rinse, repeat. What do you think? Weight room. I like weight rooms. In BC and in many parts of Canada, I've been to many. I've been all the way across to Ontario into different rec facilities. Edmonton has some great ones. Regina has some great ones. I can't believe I know this. Calgary has some great ones. Over my years of having the opportunity to travel for university sports, I have come across some of the most amazing facilities we have. Canada is rocking on the rec centers. So what happens on the rec centers is many times it's where people can come in just like a gym and they can just work out. But what happens is we have machines. So these machines don't go with my brand. I wish they were blue or yellow, but I couldn't find any. I want all these machines in my gym. Right now in my studio, in my off-grid cabin, I have a squat rack, barbell. I have about, I have 60-pound dumbbells, and I have up to right now 280-pound in plates, and then 45 for my barbell in my studio. So I can do a lot of this, and I have anchors up top where I can pull, and I can do all that pull-up stuff with me as well, because I built a cage up to my tall ceiling here. It's a pretty cool home-built studio, giving it up to myself for building that. So in the weight rooms, though, what happens is we have the opportunity to do things like sit one of the body parts and then move the other, which means we can focus specifically on A, B, C. Low to moderate tension in a chest press. We can go out for one, come back on that contraction. We can pull that back, hold that moderate stretch a little bit, inhale, exhale, pull it out, right? We get into the reps, the contractions, the breathing, and how much we're doing. Large volume, 5 sets, time under tension. Here's what I did. Let me know if you like this program. I have many like it. 5 sets, 10 to 12 reps, speed, CIE, concentric, iso, and E. CIE, concentric, iso, and E. 1 concentric, 1 iso, 3 eccentric, or 3 eccentric, 1 iso, and 1 concentric. Pick your contraction. RBS, rest between sets. When we pick it, we can go a long rest, what's going to give that volume, or we can take that short rest and keep that low moderate on. You decide. You decide what works for you, for your clients. Again, in a weight room, people are going to probably be working by themselves. What you can do in a lot of weight rooms in Canada is you can buy a session with a weight room instructor who 9 times out of 10 are a personal trainer and lead you through one session that can set you up on these exercises. Here's what I've chosen. Seated leg press, seated lat pull down, seated chest press, seated row, and a seated hamstring thing. What do you think? How'd I do? Okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to coach it. We are going to train it where we are vision on. They can see us. They can hear us. They can understand what we're saying to them. We're giving them feedback. We're giving them feedback where, are you comfortable? Is this working for you? That looks good. So we are here to motivate them and give them eyes on what they're doing to keep them safe. In a weight room, don't overload them. We don't have a lot of time with them. They're going to ask you about a piece of equipment. We get in there and we go, let me help you. The chest press, we're going to talk about 5 points of contact. I want both your feet, your hips, your chest, and your head back on that pad. 5 points of contact. Going to take the shoulders back, abs are tight. You're going to inhale. You're going to push out through the chest, through the shoulders, to the elbows. You're going to hold that out there 1 second. Bring that back nice and slow and go through that rhythmic pattern until you get comfortable with it. Stretch it out. How we doing? Here's an alternative, right? So we get into that coachy mode. Weight rooms, keep it simple. Lower body, the only one that gets complicated here is the squat rack. That brings in a whole nother level of that tension. Yes, loving barbells, love it all. Next, Oops. Ta-da. Program design. Weight training, personal training. I know, again, the pictures don't go with my brand, but they give you the message. There's a picture on the right-hand side there that is somebody holding a plank in front of a computer. I teach different programs. I do group fitness with up to 36 people on my 60-inch screen. I do small group where I have 6 people and I can give them more attention. I can cue to them. I can talk to them and specifically see them. I do one-on-one where I can see every single muscle on their body move. I can see their toes pointing. They're actually quite surprised how meticulous I am with my coaching. And I'm like, okay, chest up. I can see your toes are out a little bit. Let's get that a little bit more even and distribute that weight right across the body. I really want them to feel that me coming across the screen, because I do all online training, works for them. This week alone, I've trained, I think, 67 people, and I still have a program to go today. I had a lot of people in the week, and I do it all through online, and I do it with very specific on how many people I'm working with. So in the personal training, that's the eyes on. When you're with them, and you know this when we're coaching, they want to be able to see you, hear you. You're there to motivate them, keep them safe, get them out of any trouble they're in, and to also make sure that the program is going okay for them, whether we need to change things in or out. We see them often and we develop these relationships with them. It allows us to get more of that touch or not. What do you think of my program? This one, we could superset it. Squats, push-ups, single arm row, step-ups, and dynamic plank. 15 reps, 12, 12, and 30. We could superset the 15s, superset the 12, do the plank, keep the volume, do the 3 to 4 rounds on it, circuit it. Circuits work well. Low to moderate capillarization. Circuits work well. So what do you think of this one? Right? You can do it time. You can do 15 seconds. If you time the reps out and you add like 6-second reps to that using eccentric, you'll find that it can work out for your timing of volume on muscles to fatigue, that 120 seconds going on, keeping the tension low to moderate on a circuit. I have different programs for that. Let me know what you think of that program. Again, notice I don't do too many exercises. We're coachy. Older adult. So with the older adult, again, our goal is always to keep them safe, be creative, and do the active daily living, which we should be doing with everybody. How do we take that 40-pound box off the floor, lift it up, and put it up over the cupboard on that spot above the high shelves that every contractor puts in that we can't reach and we don't get a stool for? That. Many ways that older adults are going to work out. They're going to be in water. They're going to be in walking. They're going to be in group fitness classes. We are going to have them in groups, online, offline, everywhere. It's great watching everybody work out. So sticks, walking sticks, absolutely. They bring bone health into the upper body. When we talk about osteopressure on the bone, we always want to think about getting strong muscles that cause contractions, that squish the bones together, that create bone density so we don't have osteo issues. We want pressure on the bones, right? When 2 muscles come together and they cross the joints, they pull it and they put pressure. That pressure puts fusion into the bone and gets rid of the osteo or the air, the pores of it. Dumbbells put pressure on it. Walking sticks put pressure on the upper body. Water creates a static girdle around them. They can still use upper body exercises, be on the side of pools. Up here in the Shuswap Lake, we have more people walking along the shorelines and going as deep as they want, using sticks. Paddle boarding, where we're out there doing yoga, where we're using them for our legs off the end. We have great exercises we can do off our docks. I will do a whole series on BC in the water this summer on what we can do to get active into our areas of water. We have so many, especially in Canada. So here is my exercises. I did them very meticulously. I did forward, backwards, side to side, ankle strategy, and then bring it all together. Sit to stand, abduction, ankle strategy, lift, heel lift, and then marches or knee lifts, up, hard, strong, go. You could superset that, right? You could do sit to stand, abduct, adduct, calves to lifts. Bring it all in, keep it either superset it, circuit it up, move, 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 low to moderate, right? Give them time to hear, make sure you're visual, get confidence in them where they're comfortable knowing that you have them, that they're creating confidence in the moves they can do. When you see the fatigue get in, that's the level going at, call the fatigue. We have many, many older adults that are in fantastic shape, are great on balance, are good at using tools such as I have in here, like the stability ball. Make sure we're safe on that. We can use walls for everything we're doing. We can use sticks, we can use chairs. We can create so much confidence and agency. It's fantastic. My oldest clients that I've had, my oldest client in my career was 93. Oldest one in my member client tool right now is 89. I've got many that are in their 60s and 70s and coming down to the 50s. There's so many people that are just working out. In the older adults, they're getting very active, and we need to bring in the resistance training and focus on that. The walking, we can do independent. Let's get them all lifting, right? Program there. I have more. If you like it, I have more. So then let's talk about including people into everything we're doing. Everybody has different abilities. In my career, I've had the opportunity to work with two wonderful people. Two of the most significant ones in my entire life have been an education opportunity with my students when I was an education director, program developer, and instructor at Hilltop Academy. We had a person that wanted to come in a wheelchair, and their goal was to do a bodybuilding competition. Wow, put that on us. We took that and ran. We went to the facility. We talked to our administration. We did all our safety. We got the medical clearance. We had an exercise specialist that we worked in the background that I worked with. There was myself. I did all of my teams and my students. We had exactly who was going to take the wheelchair up the stairs of 17, how we were going to get to the facility, who was going to get the person up there, who was going to work in the mobility part, who was going to work in the strength part, how we were going to move that around. That person, gratitude, went on to do a bodybuilding competition. Just saying. I tell you, my students will never forget that. That will be the most momentum thing for them in their life as well. You know who you are. And then I got to work and still work with them. COVID intervened with our relationship. Michael Koss, who is a brain injury individual in Canada, who does some of the most important public speaking in the brain injury world, Michael Koss. Somebody said to him, there's this person that does just really weird stuff in the weight room. It's not weird stuff. I work with exercise physiologists. I work with physios. I work with RMTs. I work with chiropractors. So I learn so much stuff, and they say, Kim, I need this person to do these 8 exercises, and I need you to supervise that. Can you do that? And I'm like, I got you, Dr. Williams. I can do that. So when they see me doing stuff, it's because I'm doing it under this guise of all my allied health professionals that have confidence in what I'm doing. That's where I have my clients from. So then I got to work with Michael. He had this left arm thing and he's got all of his limbs going on, the neuro thing going. We worked a lot with his left arm, but we developed such a great relationship. I even got to see him in social distancing in COVID and go for social distancing walks in COVID. My heart, my two. Okay, so here's what I want to say to you. Don't be afraid. Talk, speak, caregivers, they're medical professional. We have people in our classes on our online platform that work in the chairs and do the arm movements. Excellent. I can encourage good posture. I can encourage movement through music. I can encourage them to move. Just because they can't use certain parts of their bodies doesn't mean that they can't encourage movement, or we can't encourage movement with us. Here's my suggestions. Exercise through actions. Be with them. If it's in a chair, show a chair. Do it, do it, do it. Practice and provide varied options. Is this working for you? No. Let's try something else. Listen to feedback. Practice safety first. Get them in behind the walls. Be there. Chairs in front. Safety first. Ask knowledgeable colleagues. We have so many people that know what they're doing. It's really crazy out here. Ask people. Create the space for agency for them. You want them to be independent. The Olympics. We have so many Olympics. We have so much stuff going on. Let's get everybody moving. No barriers going on. Everybody needs to move. Final words. Choo! There I am. I am at Planet. Oh, I don't even remember that one. Can't remember. I go to so many locations. That was probably Planet Fitness Langley. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, was that my 5 plates? Yeah, that was my 5 plates. So that was me trying to get off like 500 pounds. And I'm looking around to how much, and I was like, I did it. Final words. Use your risk assessment. ABC 1, 2, 3. Part Q. Quick assessment. No cardiovascular issues. Excellent. I'm going to train with you. Going to do group fitness. Going to do weight training. Personal training's different. B, situation. Something I need to talk to their practitioner, medical practitioner about. They're going to clear that, and then they're going to give me exercise supervised additional points that I need to work with. Then I'm going to go off and design a program for them. Different. 2, this is too much. I don't have the skill. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to pass them off to a colleague or get them to somebody I know that can help them. ABC 1, 2, 3. I can keep it. I can clear it. I'm going to pass it. Keep, clear, pass. Don't you wish your risk assessment was taught like that? From teaching 340-hour fitness leadership diploma program, I can talk. I call it information dissemination. Be overcautious as opposed to under. I think we should be there. Coach and instruct with compassion. We've all got into a machine and did an exercise and it's wrong. I've sat down and went, what am I doing? I was in Kamloops the other day at a facility and I'm like, I know what this is. Okay, hopefully there's no cameras. And I smiled at the camera and I'm like, you can watch me. I'm going to do this. I did it backwards. Create agency for everybody. You want to know how to move. If there's one thing we have on this planet that we all have in common, we have a body. Let's move it. Let's lead it and let's inspire it. Okay, that's what we do. That's what we do. Oops, hold on. Resource page. The science comes from the resources of the papers that I look for. I try and get ones that you can get to, but I go into science research databases that I have access to that I pay for. I pay a lot for those. And then I find those and I link them to ones that are on private out here that you can get to that I know it's science-backed based. Just so you know, that's how I do it. And I'm getting good at AI and I know how to do research. So I'm really good at what I'm looking for. It takes me probably less time to do it than it does you. And then I know the scientific method, which means I know how to read the papers. That is not an easy feat. They should write this stuff a little better disseminated. The 3 I chose, growing factors in human skeletal muscle, adaptations to resistance training in older adults. That's a tricky one because it goes decadial. And then muscle fiber capillarization on muscle mass in the healthy older adult. Older is a relative term. If you are not already and you want to be in a health club online, I run an online health club on Facebook. It's the only place I am right now for that community. I'm doing my own app, but I have a year of doing different stuff before I get into that. I do a lot of education. So I have a health club online it can be students. You can come and learn with me. You can mentor with me. Online exercise, pain-free movement, research, health challenges, experts. I bring people in, presentations, coaching. We live the life in there. We cook on Friday nights. Lots of stuff, polls, everything going on. There is my studio. It's an off-grid cabin. Okay, so it's off-grid. I have that 60 pounds in dumbbells. I have sand bells in there. I have everything. I have a 12-foot up here, 12-foot high ceiling going on. Did the whole flooring myself. QR code, True Northwest Community Group. If you want to learn, you like what I'm doing, come in and learn from me. I'm going from face-to-face, technology learn, clunky, to package that up. Come along and learn with me. Here's 3 of the things that I have developed where you can get a hold of me. The one to the side there is my little card and it says everything about me. My lifestyle, my little beach lifestyle up here on the Shuswap Lake. Presenter and coach. There you can get a hold of me. My goal is to guide you to a quality lifestyle. Then in the middle is my little plaque that says, hey, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and my own education platform that I lock down that I work on. And then here's something, I'm not sure everybody knows this about BCRPA, so I wanted to give you a little heads up about this on BCRPA. I keep moving myself, I know. Did you know that BCRPA works in 4 steps? It works in a basic fitness leader, an advanced fitness leader, supervisor, and teacher. All of those levels allow you or give you the opportunity to work and do different things in the industry at the provincial and the Canadian level. So I am at the trainer of fitness leaders, which teaches you. So we've been called trainers, we've been called teachers. There's intertwining of that language. As a teacher of fitness leaders, we can teach you. Some are just group fitness and they just go off and teach you how to do group fitness, and they're really good at group fitness. Some people just teach people how to be personal trainers. Others do older adults. Some people do yoga. Some people just do Pilates. So we have all these different groups. I'll tell you how many teacher levels I have. I love group fitness. I can do coaches and certify you in group fitness. I love weight training. I love the weight room. I can do courses in weight room instructor and teach you that. Personal training, older adult, fitness theory. I am really good at fitness theory, disseminating what you need just as foundation to bringing that to your clients instead of getting them all messed up. So that should give you a little bit of idea of how BCRPA sits. Okay, so our presentation, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. There we are. I'm back. True Northwest Academy, Kim Bond, teacher of fitness leaders. February, workshop number 2. Number 3's coming up, right? So I want to know what you want to learn now. Here we have, now as our months go, we're going to progress in collaborative content. Maybe even get presentation collaborative with other presenters coming in with me, and we can do some dual presentation. We can get some more lives going on. Let's get into the guides. This one will be in guide 2. We're going to add activities. We're going to do a volume worksheet. We've got the quiz to go through. We've got a whole month of content on capillarization through resistance training, month number 2. So thank you. Let's get into it. And I will see you in the community, in the lives, in everything we're doing. Have a great day. Enjoy what you're doing. And we'll connect during the month of February. Kim Bond, teacher of fitness leaders, out for the day.